This is batch 32 of Computer Science and Engineering from Maharaj Institute of Technology, Mysore. Today in this video, we look into our major project, that is auto insurance fraud detection, under the guidance of Professor Kavya Priya ML. Let's come to the contents. We started with the introduction, then coming up to the motivation, existing system, proposed system, algorithm used, advantages of proposed system, result analysis, and finally we conclude up with the conclusion.
Now, let us look into the brief introduction about our project. While talking about our project title, we said something like insurance fraud. So what is this insurance fraud all about is, it is an improper activity which may be committed by an individual in order to obtain a favorable outcomes from the insurance company. There are different types of insurance provided. For example, we have health insurance, agricultural insurance, business insurance, life insurance, auto insurance, and many more. But in our project, we're going to concentrate only towards the auto insurance fraud detection system. This fraud can be broadly classified into two types. One is soft insurance fraud, another one is hard insurance fraud. So what exactly is the soft insurance fraud is that accident has taken place, but the amount of damage what has happened to the vehicle is very less. But what an individual does is that he is going to claim saying that huge amount of damages occurred to the vehicle. Second one is hard insurance fraud. In this type of fraud, an individual intentionally plans and invests the loss so that he can claim for the insurance. Some of the potential situations where insurance fraud can take place is, first one is covering up for the situation that wasn't covered under the insurance. There are some situations like drink and driving or performing some risky activities or while using the mobiles driving the vehicles. So if the accident takes place during these situations, then the insurance company is not responsible for providing the insurance. Yet, if the accident has taken place during these situations, individual is going to claim for an insurance saying that accident has taken place in a genuine manner. Second one is misrepresenting the context of the incident. Accident has not taken place at all, but what an individual does is that he is going to create a beautiful story about the accident. Then he is going to claim for the insurance by narrating a beautiful story about the accident. Third point is inflating the impact of the incident. As we can see in the image, the severity of damage to the vehicle which has happened actually is very less, but what he is going to claim saying that huge amount of losses occurred to the vehicle. So these are some of the examples where insurance fraud can take place.
The reason behind choosing this project is India is one of the biggest markets for insurance industry, yet it is not free from the risk. Why? Because according to Indian insurance industry, it estimates that the total loss to insurance fraud in India is around $6 billion annually. According to FPI, which is also an insurance industry in USA, under which there are 7,000 companies working, estimates that the total cost of insurance fraud is around $40 billion every year. So this $6 billion and $40 billion is not at all a small amount, since this will impact on our economy, and there is an urgent need to develop capability that can help identify potential frauds with high degree of accuracy by the insurance industry. We have chosen this project.
Now let us look into the existing system. In traditional approach, there are two ways. First one is based on certain rule. What would happen and the committee creates a set of rules. Based on these rules, they would define whether the case needs to be sent into investigation or not. Second one is checklist would be prepared based on the aggregation method. Here, they would prepare checklist which includes certain indicators along with the score associated with that. And what they would do is that an aggregation of all these scores along with the claim value would be calculated, and then they will compare it with the threshold value, which is already calculated. If the calculated value is greater than threshold, then they would send this case to investigation. If not, they will do payment. Of this traditional approach, first one is limited set of parameters. To understand this better, let us consider an example where we are trying to predict whether a person has diabetes or not. What would happen is that an higher authority or committee would say that if a person is having excessive sweating, then that person has diabetes. We know that there are certain even other parameters which could drastically affect on the results. For example, Frequent urination is one of the parameters which helps us to predict whether a person is having diabetes or not. Since the higher authority or a committee has provided with certain limited parameters, there is no other choice. They have to consider the parameters that are provided by higher authority. Next is lot of human intervention. The threshold value and the indicators will be tested statistically and periodically recalibrated, and then they are going to kill huge amount of time. So let us consider an individual who has claimed for an insurance. So he is in urgent need of money and he is a genuine customer. Given in traditional approach would take huge amount of time for calculating threshold value and claim value. It kills lot of time. So the person loses his interest and trust towards the company, and then he may go to other companies for his insurance claim. So the insurance company requires certain application to overcome these limitations. In our proposed system, we have created an application which is going to predict whether the claim insurance fraud is genuine or not with the less amount of time and good accuracy rate.
Coming up to literature survey. The first one paper that I have referred was a robust fuzzy rule based technique to detect the frauds in vehicle, where the author were K. Suparja and KJ Sarita. Paper was established in 2017. Like as all the vehicle users approach different insurance company, which provide better security to the vehicle. In the same manner, fraudulent cases also increases. So, in order to stop or check insurance claim is fraud or genuine, it was the main intention of there. In this, where the visualization technique is not suitable for abundant data with a little fraud. So to avoid this limitation, they have used the fuzzy logic by training rules to improve the fraud detection. This technique will be implemented or more number of data sets and variables. By using the technique, time complexity will be decreased and implementation is easy. And to implement the results accurately. This is all about the paper I referred.
Next is Medicare fraud detection using machine learning method, which was published in the year 2017. So what did they do in this paper was that they made an exploratory analysis comparing several types of supervised as well as unsupervised classification methods to detect known fraudulent activities. Here, they have considered three groups, or we can also call it as methods or even learners, and they are supervised learner, unsupervised learner, and hybrid learner. This supervised learner includes random forest, deep neural network, and naive Bayes. The unsupervised learner includes KNN, LOF, and auto-encoder. The third learner includes neural network model. And they have made some analysis over it. And finally, their result shows that supervised learner can be significantly better when compared to that of other learners.
The next paper is nearest neighbor and statistics method based for detecting fraud in auto insurance. This paper published around 2018. This study uses and statistics methods to detect the occurrence of a fraud, and these methods has been explained in detail in this paper. The dataset used is a German car insurance data, which is often found in research on fraud detection. They made the comparison between SVM method and the methods that were used in this study, and found out that when compared to SVM and statistic methods, nearest neighbor method provides the best performance.
The next is application of data mining techniques in health fraud detection. It was published on October 2015. In this paper, they proposed health fraud detection using different data mining techniques with the help of ID3, J48, and NAVF. Based on the survey, they could clearly say that the highest accuracy rate was given by ID3 is 100% and the lowest accuracy was J48. So concluded that decision tree is the best in three respective algorithms. So the outcome of this survey is that we clearly came to know that supervised learner is better when compared to others, and decision tree classification algorithm is better when compared to other algorithms.
Proposed system. Okay, now as explained by Amruta, existing system has some advantages and some disadvantages. To avoid the disadvantages, we have come up with a proposed system. Our proposed system is as follows. Based on certain parameters, we estimate parameters are such difference between the occurrence date and claim report date. Then difference between the claim report date and the claim open date. Then difference between policy effective and a claim occurrence date. Then part cost difference, then credit ratings, policy premium, then count of the customer communication. These all are the parameters where we deal with. Then we deal with the three modules in a proposed system. The one is admin. Admin is the one who maintains the entire application. There is specification or we can call actions. Actions he needs to log in for the manage the application. He can add cities. He can create the branch in charge. He can even change the password, and finally he can log out. This is all about the admin. Then coming up to the branch in charge, he is the one who receives the service. Even he should log in for accessing the application. Like he can add data set, upload new claim, change password, import Excel sheet. This is all operation that can be done only if the admin creates branch in charge. Using this ID created by admin, the branch in charge can log in and finally he can log out. This is all about the branch in charge. Then coming up to the public, this is the one who visits the entire application where he doesn't need to log in. This is the main advantage, we can say. The operation are like this, where you can view home page, about us page, where information about the insurance will be in detail. We have contact us with where you can contact if any issues is there. Then we can view insurance info. You can claim info. Okay, this is all about the modules that are present in a proposed system.
Next is architectural design. So public is the one who claims for an insurance. Branch in charger receives the claims and he will do certain initial investigation like whether the premium has been paid by the, and if he had previously claimed for an insurance, if the person previously claimed for an insurance, whether it is genuine or not, he will check all the initial investigation and he will take from the claim insurance and he will input it to the our system. So our system performs certain operation and it will give output as fraud or genuine. If it is fraud, there is no payment for that person and it will be given to the investigation. And if it is genuine, it will be given to the payment is made to him. The operations that are performed by our system is it uses naive-Bayes classifier which is going to predict whether the claimed insurance our system will take the inputs from the branch in charger as parameters and it will predict whether claimed insurance is fraud or genuine. If it is fraud, there will be no payment and it is sent to the investigation. If it is genuine, then the payment is done to that person. So the operations that are performed by our system is it uses naive-Bayes classifier that is going to predict whether the claimed insurance is fraud or genuine. So how and why we will see in the next coming slides.
If the user is to see the information about us, even they can see the information about the insurance claim. If the user is a branch in charge, then user can log in into his account with the username and password given by the admin. If the user ID and password is valid, then the login will be successful. This branch in charge has access to maintain data sets and he can add a new claim parameters, and he has access to predict the fraud claim. Since we need to import Excel sheet first to our project, branch in charge has access to import Excel sheets. If user is the admin, then ID and password. If they are valid, he will log in into his account, and he is the one who controls entire application. Admin can add cities and branches that can be used at any locations. He can add branches for each cities, and branch in charge for each branches, and he will set user ID and password for that particular branch in charge. This admin can update his own password and log out from his account. So this is how our project is designed.
Next is the algorithm that is being used in our project is Naive-Bayes classifier. It's a supervised machine learning algorithm that uses Bayesian theorem. Let us consider an example so that we can understand exactly how this algorithm is being used in our project. In this example, we have considered three parameters, that is parameter P1, P2, and P3, and this number of parameters is represented by using the letter M. Next one is possible outcomes. Our project is going to predict whether the given insurance claim is fraud or genuine. Hence, this possible outcome will be 0.5, and this will be represented by using the letter P. Next is a training data set. In our training, in this example, we have considered totally 5 different records as a training data set. Now let us consider that suppose a new claim has arrived with the parameters P1 is equal to 7, P2 is equal to 10, and P3 is equal to 20. So what our system needs to do is that it needs to predict whether the given insurance claim is fraud or genuine. How does that being done is by using this formula, where n underscore c is nothing but total number of records in the training data set where parameter P1 is equal to 7, which is classified as fraud, or parameter P1 is equal to 7, which is classified as genuine. Next is M. M is nothing but it's a number of parameters. P is possible outcomes. Next, N is total number of records in the training data set where parameter P1 is equal to 7. Now, what would happen is that we are going to calculate the probability for both fraud as well as genuine section for each and every parameters that has been inputted. Then what are we going to do with this probability is that we are going to multiply these probabilities of fraud section with a possible outcome. This would result with a probability of the case being fraud. Similarly, the same thing will be done with the genuine section also. This would also result with a probability of a case being genuine. Then what do we do with these two probabilities is that we are going to make comparison between these two probabilities. The probability value with the probability with highest value will be sent as an output. So for the given new claim, our system is going to predict it as fraud.
Coming to advantages of proposed system. The first one is system is real-time application. It is the one where it can be used to check if it is fraudulent detection, where it may help the insurance company or customers. Then enhance the time efficiency. Yeah, we can say efficient as traditional approach was taking more time to predict, but our system predicts with fraction of seconds and we get the output. Then coming up to generic application, a project can be used all over the India by any insurance company. Then we come up with it works fine for n number of parameters. Then finally we come up with works fine for small data sets as well as a used data sets. As we have seen in literature survey, decision tree produce best results. But why we are not using the algorithm? Because if we go on increasing the data set, value decision tree does not produce good performance. And this is all about the advantages.
Next
then the last one is it works fine for all formats of data. Formats of data means like characters, strings, etc., numbers, etc.
Next is result analysis. So there are two types of prediction which is done in our project. One is prediction for individual claim and prediction of bulk claims. So what do we do here is that whenever a public claims an insurance, branch in charge is going to receive that claim and he inputs 8 different parameters into our system, and then he is going to click on the predict button. As soon as he clicks on the predict button, internally Naive-Bayes algorithm will be executed and our system is going to predict whether it is fraud or genuine.
In bulk prediction, we have totally 20 testing data sets here. So when we click on this predict result button, for these 20 records, our system will calculate where it is fraud or not. So Our system will predict whether these 20 records that are fraud or normal. The result analysis says that the accuracy is 95% and the time taken to execute is 379 milliseconds. Since the accuracy is 95%, the correctly classified or 95% and the incorrectly classified is obviously 5%. So this is about bulk prediction.
By concluding, insurance fraud detection is a challenging problem that every industry is facing. So our proposed system aims at developing system that can help to identify the frauds. Our system predicts whether the claimed insurance is fraud or genuine in less amount of time and with good accuracy rate. Thus, it helps the several insurance industry finding the frauds. Thank you. Hello everyone. This is the second part of our presentation where we are going to perform project demonstration. When we run our project, this is the default page that we get, which is a static page which contains the information about the insurance. Next is About Us page. This is also a static page which gives the information about two types of insurance fraud and objectives of our project. Next is Insurance page. It is also a static page which gives the information about insurance policy components.
This is about the branch in charge login page. Branch in charge is one who's going to receive a insurance claim for the first time. For the first time, he logs in the system by using ID and password, which is given by admin. If he wants, he can change the password in future or later. Suppose he is not entered any value and he is trying to submit, then we'll get an error message saying that and enter those values. Then suppose if any one of the value, that is either login ID and password, is wrong, then it would show an error message saying that invalid user ID and password. Invalid user ID or password. If both of them are correct, then if we click on submit button, then it will direct us to the branch in charge home page. As we can see, this is the branch in charge home page. We are going to get a message as welcome branch in charge ID with an ID name. This is also a static page which contains the information about the insurance for projects like insurance.
Next is import. The dataset will be present in an Excel sheet, so that must be imported first to our project. We can create when we create a branch in charge for the first time, he needs to import data set from the Excel sheet. Here we are going to choose the file and then he will upload the data. When he clicks on this upload data button, the insurance data set will be uploaded. This will take a few seconds. After uploading the data, it says that data imported successfully. Suppose if the branch in charge already imported once, then it is not necessary to import it again. Next is data set, where branch in charge can manage the insurance data set. Branch in charge can also maintain a data sets. Here, he can enter new record and also delete an existing record from the data set. While entering new record, branch in charge need to enter all these parameters and click on the add button. After clicking on add button, it shows the message as data added successfully. And when we check on the data set, the record will be added. For deleting existing record from the data set, he can click on delete button. Then it shows confirmation message whether he really want to delete it or not. When he clicks on OK button, then that particular record will be deleted directly. Then we are going to get a message that data deleted successfully. Then when we check on the data set, we can see that that particular data is deleted successfully.
Next is about prediction. This is about the individual prediction page. Whenever a public claims for an insurance, what does branch in charge does is that he is going to input 8 different parameters. That is, first one is difference between claim occurrence date and claim report date. Second one is difference between claim report date and claim open date. Third is difference between policy effective date and claim occurrence date. Fourth is claim date submitted or not. Fifth is part cost difference. And sixth is credit ratings. Seventh is policy premium. And the last parameter is count of customer communication. Suppose if he has not entered any one of the value and he is trying to click on this predict button, it is going to say please enter the respective value. If he has entered all the records and if he click on this predict button, then our system is going to predict whether the given insurance claim is fraud or genuine. For the given insurance claim, our system has predicted it has fraud. So this is about the individual prediction. Next, fraud prediction. This page is about the bulk prediction. So in this training data set, we can see that there are totally 21 different records. So when I click on this predict result, what should happen is that for each and every 21 records, our system should predict whether it is fraud or genuine. So when I click on this predict result button, we can see that our system has classified all those 21 records as either fraud or normal. Normal is nothing but here genuine. And we can also have a result analysis report here, which says that accuracy rate is 95% and the time taken for executing this is 520 milliseconds. Since accuracy rate is 95%, obviously the correctly classified rate will be 95% and incorrectly classified rate will be 5%. So this is all about individual prediction as well as bulk prediction.
Branch in charger can change the old password. To do so, the branch in charger should enter the old password, new password, and confirms the password and update it. If the branch in charger clicks on the update button without entering any of the values, then it shows the error message as enter the password. Now, branch in charger inputs the old password and also inputs the new password. If the password entered to confirm is not as same as the new password, then it is going to show the error message as password mismatch. Then branch in charger confirms the password, which is same as the new password, and clicks on the update button. The new password will be updated and shows the successful message saying that in charge password changed successfully. Next is logout. If we click on the logout button, it will redirect us to the branch in charger login page.
Now this is the admin login page where he is the one who maintains the entire application. For maintaining the application, you should first log in using the login ID and password. Suppose if any one of the ID or password is wrong, then we would get an error message saying that invalid ID or password. Invalid ID or password. Then suppose if both of them are valid, then it will direct to admin homepage where we get a greeting message for admin. It is also a static page where it also shows the information about the insurance.
Next, we have cities. We said that admin can add different cities. This is the page where we can add cities. We have already added 30 different cities. If we want to delete any city in this list, we can click on this delete button. It asks for confirmation from us whether we really want to delete this record or not. If admin say OK, then it shows city deleted successfully. And when he check in the list, he can see that that particular record is deleted from here. When admin adds city and click on add button, it says that new city added successfully. Then when we again check on this existing list, we can see that the new city is added. Suppose if he trying to add again that city, it shows a message saying that city name already exists.
Next is about branches. So this is the page where admin can create a branch in charge, or we can also say it as we can add a new insurance branch, and we can also view the existing insurance branch which is already been added by the admin. So first is we are going to add the city. We have a drop down menu here from where we are going to select a city. For example, let us consider that I have selected Mangalore, and the next field is to provide the ID for the branch in charge. So I'm going to give a name to it, and the branch name. Next is password. Suppose if the password doesn't satisfy any of these conditions, such as 8 characters should be included, it should have uppercase letter or special character or numbers. If any one of these criteria is not satisfied, then we would get this error message. Suppose all these criteria are satisfied, then we will not get any error message. Next is the address field. So let us give the address. Next is contact number. Suppose if we are starting the numbers from 5 to 0, then it is going to give an error message. Suppose if the contact number is greater than 10 or less than 10, then also we will get an error message. Next is an email ID. We will give email ID to it, and then click on the add button. When admin clicks on the add button, we are going to get a message saying that branch added successfully. And we can also view this in the insurance branch list, where whatever the new branch in charge we are added here can be seen here. Suppose if we want to delete any branch in charge from this list, then we can click on this delete button. As soon as we click on this delete button, we would get a confirmation message saying that do we really want to delete this record. Suppose if we want to delete this record, then we will click on the OK button. When we click on the OK button, we will get a message saying that in charge deleted successfully. And when we look back into this view insurance branch list, we can see that whatever the record that was deleted just now is not present here. So this is how he is going to manage the branch in charge. That is, he can create or delete a branch in charge.
Admin can also change the old password. To do so, the admin should enter the old password, new password, confirm the password, and he should update. Now, admin inputs the old password and new password, and confirms the password that is same as the new password and updates. Now, the new password is updated and it shows the message as admin password changed successfully. Next is logout. If we click on the logout button, it also redirects us to the branch in charge login page.
This is a contact us page. If users have any queries, they can contact us, where it will take information like name, mobile ID, then email ID, city, address. These 4 static pages: home, about us, insurance, then contact us page, are specifications of public. This is all about our project. Thank you.